Hey, hi guys, welcome back to my channel ITTECHSTACKS. This is Amar Gajare, your cloud instructor. So guys, last module we have learnt about virtual private cloud and all the theoretical concepts. What is virtual private cloud, networking, what is cloud compute engine, scaling virtual machines, VPC and compatibilities, load balancing, cloud DNS and cloud CDN. So those who have not already gone through my past video or previous video, request you to go through the previous video first so that you will understand these lab exercises which we are going to explain in this module. Okay, so let's begin guys. So this is the home page of any Google Cloud project or platform. Any GCP, whenever you open and create a project, you will see the home page. Okay, so before I begin, I would like to just briefly explain you the main objectives of this session. Okay, so in this session we only learn how to create VPC network, how to create routes, firewalls, okay, and explore default VPC network, create an auto mode network with firewall rules, create virtual machine instances using compute engine, explore the connectivity for VM instances. Okay, so let's explore the default network first. Okay, so every Google Cloud platform comes with a default network, which is default VPC networks. Okay, let's go to the navigation left menu. Click on the navigation menu. Click on the VPC networks. Click on VPC networks. Okay, so if you can see, there is already a default VPC network already created. Okay, this one we have not created. This is created by or provided by Google Cloud Platform by default whenever you create any new project. Okay, so if you click on the default, then you notice the default network with its subnets. Okay, so you can see the subnets. So if you can see, there are already 25 subnets created. The first page will give the overview of the default VPC, how many subnets are there, how many firewall rules are set up. So to see the details, you have to click on the default VPC network. Then you will be able to see all the subnets. Okay, and each subnet is associated with a Google Cloud region. If you can see here, there are multiple regions are associated with each default subnets. There are around 25 subnets, as you can see here, all those listed, and each subnet have default, or sorry, not default, but associated region. Different regions are associated with each subnets. Okay, subnet is a subnetwork. Within VPC we have subnets. Please go through my previous video. You will come to know what is the definition of subnet, what is network, VPC, VPN, everything. Okay, so let's view the routes. Okay, what are the routes and firewalls? Routes tells virtual machine instances and the VPC network how to send traffic. Okay, so whenever you work in any private cloud and when you try to create any virtual machine instances, the routes within the VPC tells how to send a traffic from one instances to a destination. Okay, which can be either inside the network or it can be outside the Google Cloud network. Okay, so each VPC network comes with some default routes, okay, to route the traffic among the subnets. So who will ensure that how the traffic is moving around? That thing ensured by the route. Okay, so there is no explicit management is required. Okay, it is internally managed by cloud, the routes and all. Okay, let's click on routes and click on route management. Okay, so if you can see here, this is the default route created by the Google Cloud platform. Okay, if you can notice here, route for each subnet and one of the default internet gateway. Okay, this route, default route to the internet, and destination IP is 0.0.0/0. Okay. So these, as I said, these routes are managed for you, but you can create custom static routes to direct some packets to specific destination. So as I said, these routes are managed internally by Google Cloud. Okay, but you can create your own custom routes as well if you want to redirect some of the traffic or packets to some of the destination. Okay, for example, so you can create a route that sends all outbound traffic to a instance configured as NAT gateway. Okay, so I hope these routes are clear for you guys. Now let's move on to the firewalls. Okay, click on firewall. So each VPC network implements a distributed virtual firewall that you can configure. Firewall rules allow you to control which packet are allowed. So routes are something which guides which packet should move to which destination from which source. Okay, whereas firewalls restrict, okay, the firewall restricts the distribution of packets. Okay, so okay, if you can see, this firewalls restrict the or put a rules, okay, to control the packets. So every VPC network has two implied firewall rules that locks all incoming connections and allow all outgoing connections. Okay, in our case we have all ingress implied firewall rules. Okay, and the default firewall rules are, as you can see, the ICMP, internal, RDP and SSH. Okay, so these firewall rules allow ICMP, RDP, SSH ingress traffic, means all the input traffic from anywhere. So anywhere in this case, as I shown you, from 0.0.0/0, which indicates anywhere, and all TCP, UDP and ICMP traffic within the network. Okay. Okay, let's see how to delete a firewall rule. Okay, let's click on the firewall. Okay, let's click or check all the default firewall rules, all the 4. Okay, click on the delete. It it will ask, are you sure you want to delete 4 firewall rules? Yes, delete it. It takes a time. So it's deleting a firewall rule, as you can see the pop-up message. Okay, so as you can see, all the firewall rules got deleted. Okay, now go to VPC network and delete the VPC network itself. Click on the VPC network, select the default VPC network, okay, so you can see there is a delete VPC network option at the top. Click on the delete VPC network. Delete. Okay, so as you can see the pop-up message deleting a network. So guys, it takes time. So as you can see the default VPC is getting deleted. So as soon as the VPC gets deleted, the default VPC gets deleted, you can't see any firewall rules and routes available. So all these routes and firewall rules are associated with the VPC. Okay, so once this default VPC gets deleted, we can cross check them. Okay, so if you can see guys here, successfully deleted network. Close this option. You can see there is no default VPC network here. So if you go back to the routes, so as you can see there is no routes, no firewalls. Okay, as because there is no VPC network. Okay, so now let's try to create a virtual machine without a VPC. Okay, so without any private cloud, without any default private cloud or custom private cloud, you cannot create a virtual machines. So let's try to create a virtual machine and see if it works. Go to Compute Engine, click on the VM instance option. Okay, so there is an option called Create Instance. Click on the Create Instance. So all the help or tutorial you can get it at the right time. So if you stuck somewhere how to create a virtual machine, you can't understand how to create, which option to select, everything are explained and guided in the right side panel. So for now I will close this one. Okay, so I am trying to create my default instance 1. Okay, I will keep, you can choose your own region, zone from this list. Okay, where do you want to create this instance? For now I will keep as it is. I'll keep as it is the series, machine series and machine type. Okay, now I'll straight away try to create a VM with the default settings. So if you can see there is an issue now. At the top, make sure all fields are correct to continue. So if you click on the go to issue, it will take you to the issue. See guys, here you must select a subnetworks. Currently we do not have any network or VPC network available, no items to display. So you cannot create a virtual machines without a subnetworks or without a virtual private clouds. Okay, you should have a VPC, your own private cloud to work on. Okay, so this is the expected behavior. Now let's move on, guys. Let's move on to the next task or lab exercises. Let's create a virtual private cloud network and VM instances. Okay, let's start this. Okay, let's create a virtual private cloud network so that you can create VM instances. Okay, currently we do not have virtual private cloud, so we are unable to create VM instances. So let's create a virtual private cloud so that we can create a VM instance. Okay, so create an auto mode VPC network with firewall rules. Means you no need to set up explicit firewall rules, just create a VPC, default VPC, and GCP will assign the default firewalls and routes to it. Okay, let's go back to the left pane. Okay, click on the VPC, click on VPC networks. Okay, now click create VPC network. Okay, here click on create VPC network. Okay, now I will create a VPC network with the name my network. Okay, description you can give whatever you want to give based on the purpose of the VPC. I will just say test. Okay, now for subnet, I don't want to create any custom subnets. I want to create a automatic subnets. Means by default Google Cloud will assign the subnets to your VPC, okay, which are distributed among different regions. Okay, and for firewalls, select all available rules. Okay, so by default GCP will show the current available firewall rules. Okay, so for now we can select all the available firewall rules. Okay, so there are same standard firewall rules that the default network had. If you can observe this, all 4 ingress firewall rules we had. Okay, for ICMP, RDP, SSH and custom. Okay, the same firewall rules currently it is showing up. Okay, so the deny all ingress and allow all egress rules are also displayed here. Okay, my network deny all ingress and my network allow all egress. So these 2 firewall rules also displayed, but you cannot check or uncheck these. If you can't find the check uncheck option for this, because they are implied means they are automatically by default they are available. These rules have low priority. Okay, so that they allowed ICMP, custom, RDP, SSH rules. Okay, let's create. I'll keep as it is the all other settings default. Okay, let's create a VPC. So as you can see, it is showing option creating network, my network. It is loading or starting the VPC. Okay, and as soon as this my network gets created, you can see the subnets also get created. Okay, so let's wait for some time. Once this my network VPC gets created, okay, so I'll just forward this video. Okay guys, so I just forwarded for 20-30 seconds. So now you can see the successfully my network VPC got created and a pop-up message saying successfully created my network. Okay, so if you can see, by default the subnets are created. Okay, okay, and if you go back again to routes, you will see the routes created. These routes are created, and the firewall rules, whichever we chose, all firewall rules already created. Okay, so now let's try to create a virtual machine. Let's see if we can create a virtual machine while we are having a VPC in our Google Cloud project. Okay, let's go to Compute Engine. Okay, click on VM instances. Okay, so now click on create instance. Okay, so let's create your own VPC, virtual machine VM. Okay, so I would like to give the name my network US virtual machine. So I'm creating my net US VM. Okay, and a region I would like to choose US West, and for zone I would like to go with the US West 1A, and the machine types or the machine series I would like to go with the, you can choose your own based on your workload and the type of work you have, starting from N1, second generation, third generation. So I would like to go with the E2, okay, machine series. So E2 are CPU platform selection based on the availability. Okay, machine type I can select my own. Okay, so you can go with the shared core, standard, high memory or high CPU based on your need. For example, if you want to build a highly for example gaming applications, then you have to have high CPU, high memory, or else for the lab exercises or for small applications you can go with the normal other than the high memory, high CPU. Okay, these all differ with their number of CPUs and memories allocated to them. Okay, so now I would like to go with the minimum configuration, which is called E2 micro, allocating less CPU and less memory. Okay, E2 micro created or selected, it's having 1 GB memory. So whenever you choose your machine type, at the right side you can see the pricing details, how much it cost per month. Okay, for example, let's choose a high CPU, high memory configuration. Okay, you will see this price gets changed. Okay, so this high CPU, high memory costs you $578 per month. Okay, at present we don't require this high memory, high CPU machine type. So for testing purpose, I am okay with E2 micro machine type. Okay, so all other things I'll keep as it is. Okay, so if you can observe here, I am creating my network a VM instance for US region. Okay, this was US West one. Okay, so let's create it. Okay, make sure all fields are correct to continue. Click on it. Okay, so I have to choose my network. I don't want to choose subnet. I would like to keep default subnets. So guys, it's creating. So it was taking time, so it's now created. So as you can see, mynet US/VM is getting created, which means I am trying to create a virtual machine in US region West 1 zone. Okay, see this VM already created. If you click on that VM, you will see the configuration which we selected. Okay, we have selected E2 micro. Okay, so you can see the default boot is allocated to this. Okay, now let's create one more VM instance with a Europe West region. Okay, now we have created a virtual machine with a US West region. Now let's create a virtual machine on Europe West region, because we can create it because we have the VPC network setup done for those regions. If you can see here, go back to VPC. Okay, so if you can see Europe West region, we have subnets, we have US West, US East. So this VPC network have or spread across different regions. So we can create our virtual machine in any of these regions without any issues. Okay, so let's go back to our Compute Engine virtual machines, and currently we have created now mynet US virtual machines. Now let's try to create a virtual machine for Europe West region. Okay, so again the same steps, create an instance. Okay, give the name, again it's my network. Okay, create instance. Let's wait, it's loading. Okay, mynet, I would like to create create it for Europe region. So let's make it as EU VM, my network Europe virtual machine. Okay, so if it is a Europe, let's select the Europe region. Europe West, Europe West 1, okay, or Europe West 2. You can choose your own. So I would like to create in the Europe West 2 London region, and Europe West 2 C. You can choose your own zone. We discuss about this region and zone, guys. Okay, so zone ensures that we do not have any. It ensures the availability of the resources. If you keep or create your components in different zones. Okay, so go back to my previous video for the theoretical concepts of region, zones and other things. Okay, so let's go to the series. I would like to choose E2 series only. Okay, and from machine type I would like to choose E2 macro. Okay, because the E2 medium is costing me $32 for 1 month, so I would like to go with the E2 micro. Okay, so now it's costing me $9.08 per month. Okay, so let's keep as it is the all other settings. So boot disk is Debian, and all other settings keep as it is. Create the VPC. So you can see it is getting created. We already have mynet US virtual machines for US West A region. Now we are creating the mynet EU virtual machine for zone EU West 2 zone. Okay, so guys, as you can see, now we have 2 virtual machines created. So it defines that, or it confirms that you cannot create a virtual machine without your VPC networks. Okay, so you can create your own VPC network first if you don't have default, but every cloud projects have default VPC created. So on top of that, you can create your own virtual machines. So now we are able to create successfully virtual machines. Without VPC, it will never allow you to create any virtual machines. Okay. Okay. So if you can see here, if you have noticed, the internal IP and external IP address also created for these VMs. The external IP address for both the VM instances are ephemeral. Okay. If an instance is stopped, any ephemeral external IP addresses assigned to the instance are released. Okay. So whenever if you try to stop this instance, for example, if you stop this instance, this external IP address gets released to some other for some other VMs. Okay, that's the reason it is called as ephemeral. Okay, so external IP address for both the VM instances are ephemeral, because if you release or if you stop the instance, any ephemeral external IP address assigned to the instance are released back to the general compute engine pool, and it's become available for any other project or any other VMs. Okay, so when a stopped instance is started again, okay, if you start again the same instance, okay, a new ephemeral external IP address is assigned to the instance. Okay, so alternatively, you can reserve a static external IP address which assigns the address to your project indefinitely until you explicitly release. Okay, suppose if you want the same IP address for your project or virtual machines to be there, then you have to have a static IP address should be created for the external IP address. Okay, then only whenever you can stop, restart virtual machines, your external IP address will remain same. Otherwise, without a static IP address assigned to external IP, it is a ephemeral, which means it can be released whenever you stop the virtual machines for any reason, and a new fresh IP address get assigned to it when you start back your virtual machine. Okay, so I hope this clarifies the second lab exercises. Okay, let's move on to explore the connectivity for VM instances. Okay, let's explore some of the connectivity for VM instances. Okay. So explore the connectivity of VM instances. Specifically, try to SSH to your VM instances using TCP. Okay, TCP/22, and ping both the internal and external IP addresses of your VM instances using ICMP protocol. And also explore the effect of firewall rules on the connectivity by removing the firewall rules individually. Okay, so let's explore the connectivity. Okay, now verify connectivity for the VM instances. The firewall rules that you created with my network. Okay, go back to the my network firewall, go to the VPC network. The firewall rule that you created with my network allow ingress, SSH and ICMP traffic from within my network and outside the networks. Okay, so if you click on the firewall, as you can see, this allows ingress traffic for ICMP subnet. Okay, I hope that clarifies. Okay, so now let's go back to the VM instances. Compute Engine VM instances. Okay, let's note down the IP addresses for mynet EU. Okay, so why we have to note it down? Because we'll show you how these work, or disabled, enabled. Okay, for now let's note it down. Okay, let me open sticky notes. Okay, so let me note down. Okay, let's copy. It's not allowing me to copy. Let's copy this. Okay, so let's copy the internal IP address, and let's copy external IP address. Okay, let's copy the external IP address. Okay, and we are doing this for which VM? We are doing this for do the same thing for the other virtual machine. copy the internal and external IP address, copy the internal, and this one copy the external. Okay, so we have copied the internal and external IP address for our both the virtual machines, the EU and as well as the US. Okay. Okay. Now go to my network US virtual machine. Okay. Go to this virtual machine, click on SSH to launch the US virtual machine. Okay, this will open up a new pop-up window with SSH, means command line interface. Okay, so you have to authorize the SSH. Okay, so now the SSH created. Okay, now you can note you can SSH because of the allow SSH firewall rule is already allowed for this. Okay, that's the reason you can able to SSH, which allows incoming traffic from anywhere for TCP 22. The SSH connection works seamlessly because Compute Engine generates the SSH key for you and stores it in one of the following locations. Which are the following locations? Okay, those are in the default Compute Engine, or it can be stored in the your account configuration in OS login details. Okay. Okay, let's move on to test the connectivity to my EU network. So currently we logged in or did SSH to US virtual machine. So let's check the connectivity, okay, with the EU machine. Okay, let's ping a command. I would like to ping let's ping to, now we are in US virtual machine. I would like to ping to the EU machine. Okay, let's copy the IP address of EU machine. Okay, paste it here. Now let's see if we can able to ping it. Okay, sorry guys, it's the invalid argument. So there is a missing argument 3. Okay, now you can see you are able to receive the packets. Okay, so it means you are able to ping to the other virtual machine, which is the EU machine located in the EU region, because the ingress is allowed, which means anyone can ping you from the external. Okay, okay, so now this indicates that you can ping mynet EU VM internal IP because allow custom firewall rules enabled. Okay, why it is enabled? Let's go back to the VPC network and check it whether it is enabled. Click on the my network, go to firewalls. Okay, So if you see here, allow custom ingress, that's the reason you are able to ping to the EU network. Okay, let's go back to the virtual machine. VM instances virtual machine. Okay, now to test the connectivity to MyNet EU virtual machine external IP. Now we checked with the internal IP, right? To check with connectivity with the external IP, so you need to run the command. Okay, let's go to the again SSH. It's now disconnected because of we moved back to the IP virtual private cloud section. That's the reason it's got disconnected. Let's connect again to SSH. Okay, now let's try to ping from US virtual machine to EU virtual machine external IP address. Ping -C3. Now whatever we copied, the external IP address of EU, copy it and paste it here. See guys, so you can able to ping to the external IP address as well. Okay. Okay, so now earlier we were able to ping to the internal IP address of different virtual machine located in a different region. It's because of the custom firewall was enabled. Okay, now why we are able to ping to the external IP address of the EU machine? Because there is also a ICMP firewall rules is enabled. Okay. Okay, let's try to remove the ICMP firewall rule and check whether you can able to do the ping the external IP address. Okay, so let's do it quickly guys. Go to virtual machine, VPC networks. Okay, go to the VPC network, click on the firewall rules. Okay, select the ICMP firewall rule, because of which we are able to ping to the EU external IP address, and let's delete this one, ICMP, only ICMP. Okay, now return to your SSH. Okay, and try to ping the external, sorry, let's try with the internal first. Okay, now you can ping my EU VM internal IP address because it's having allow custom firewall rules. Now test the same connectivity with the external. Okay, I would like to use the same command, ping. Okay, -C3, copy the external IP address of EU and try to ping EU. Enter. See guys, it is not receiving any data. You can see here it's trying to connect, but it did not receive any data. It's the packet loss. Okay. So please note, the 100% packet loss indicates that you cannot ping mynet EU virtual machine external IP. This is expected result because we deleted allow ICMP from our virtual private network. Okay, now let's remove the allow custom firewall rules as well. Let's do it. Okay, so now allow custom firewall rule also getting deleted. Now let's fire a command. Okay, with the internal IP address of EU. Earlier we used to ping or able to receive the data packets. Now we are unable to ping even internal IP address because now we have deleted the custom rules. Okay, that's all guys. This is how we connect internally within the VPC, within the virtual machines, because we have a firewall rule setup. Okay, suppose that's the reason we said firewall rules are able to perform restrictions of packets which we want to send to the different resources within that network. Okay, suppose if you want to create any specific machine private and want to receive only from specific resource or specific virtual machine, then that also you can set up. Okay, so this is how okay. Now exit from the SSH. Okay, now let's remove all firewall rules and try to SSH the US virtual machine. Okay, let's see if that works. Select all, delete. Once we're done with this, we should not be able to SSH even US virtual machine. Okay, let's go to the compute engine, VM instances. Let's try to SSH US virtual machine. Okay, so this is US virtual machine. Earlier we were able to do SSH. Now let's try to do SSH. See guys, your connection will must likely fail. VM is missing firewall rules, allowing TCP ingress traffic from anywhere on port 22. So this is the error you get if you try to delete all firewall rules and try to SSH also. Okay, so the connection failed. The message indicates that you cannot SSH because you deleted allow SSH firewall rule also. Okay, so just to review, so we explored the default network along with the subnets. Okay, routes, firewall rules. We have deleted the default networks and determined that we cannot create any VM instances without VPC network. Okay, so and also we created a new auto mode VPC network and tried to create virtual machines. We were able to create virtual machines after creating default VPC networks. We created two virtual machines. One is for the US region and one is for the EU region. And later part we checked the interconnectivity between the each virtual machines by restricting the firewall rules. So hope you guys enjoyed. This is it guys for today's sessions all about virtual machines lab exercises. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you have any questions, please ping me or mail me on my email ID. I will try to answer all your queries. For till next videos, thank you guys. Thanks a lot. Enjoy your day. Bye.